The AI I'm going to introduce to you today will allow you to create videos up to 50 minutes long. You can create both short videos for TikTok trends and long videos to run a faceless YouTube channel. In this video, I'll show you how this incredible AI works and how it's going to revolutionize the way you create content. And make sure to stay until the end because I'll even reveal its agent mode, which will do everything for you. This tool is called Magiclight, so here we are on the Magiclight interface. And what we're interested in today are the two modes, story to video and AI video adjunct. We'll look at the AI video adjunct mode at the end of this video, so make sure to watch until the end. You're going to see it's truly incredible. If you want to try the tool for free, I've put a link in the description. That will give you 300 free credits. And by using my link, you'll also get a 5% discount on all paid plans if you're interested. On the interface, you can see lots of examples that have been created, that have been generated by Magiclight users. So this can give you some inspiration. For example, you've probably seen those talking babies doing things on social media. Well, here you also have the possibility to create baby roll videos yourself. Magiclight, they've also recently added Nano Banana. Nano Banana, I think you've heard about it. And if not, Nano Banana is an image editor. And that's what allows you to achieve great consistency. That means the characters you create will maintain a certain consistency throughout. You'll be able to recognize their faces, their clothes, even if they change locations or outfits. All of this is made possible thanks to editing with Nano Banana. So we have several modes. There's the story to video mode. That's the one we're really interested in, with the ability to create a smart script. So a smart script means you'll simply write a short script of 3 lines, and then the AI will expand it to make something much more substantial, much bigger. You can also use the basic script. We'll look at both use cases in this video, and you can also use trending scripts. So basically, these are scripts that have already worked, that have already gotten results on YouTube and TikTok. And you can simply reuse them by running the script. So this way, you'll keep an existing script and have a story that's already a hit. In fact, it's often been done in English, so take advantage of that and do it again. In French, you can then choose the voice you want, the orientation, so landscape or portrait. In this video, we'll focus on landscape. You can see the style, so the style. What's really interesting is that each time there's a preview that shows us exactly what your video style will look like. So for example, 3D, cartoon, Pixar, Disney. There's epic, for instance, which I'll use in this video because we're going to create a video about Greek mythology. And there are a ton of styles available. Next, for generation, you can set the duration to auto, but you can also choose the desired length. So 3 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. And especially the custom mode. The custom mode lets you go up to 50 minutes, and especially if you want to make shorts. For TikTok, you could easily set it to 1 minute and 5 seconds like this. You hit TikTok monetization, it gives you 13 shots, and it will actually create images that are animated. So it really creates a great story with a voiceover, and it will really match your theme. You also have the option to create your own characters, AI. So here you give your character a name, for example, Zeus, then a description, and then once again, we'll choose the style we want. So for example, in this case, I would pick epic, but we'll see all that later. I'll show you, there are plenty of ways to do it. You can import an image directly, you can enter a detailed prompt, and it will generate our different characters. As I was saying, we're going to make a video, so a YouTube video about Greek mythology. And the goal will be to tell a true story, a factual story that will hook the viewer from start to finish with recurring characters. For this video, we're going to tell the story of Pandora's box. So I actually know nothing about this story, but today I feel like making a story about Pandora's box. So why not? It's very easy to do. So either we just say, I want a story about Pandora's box, but then there won't be enough information, or we can go to our dear ChatGPT. I want you to create a short script for me that I could then expand for the story in Greek mythology, Pandora's box. So here it gives us a script, and I tell it that's not what I want. What I want is basically the important elements, the characters, etc. So now we take what it gave us, and you'll see, we just have to expand it into a smart script. So now we're going to write, here's the story, and then important elements of the story, etc. Expansion. So now the AI will work and give us a whole storyline that we can use. So basically, there you go. It's starting to make sense, etc. But the problem we're going to have with this is that we won't have enough verifiable information. We won't have enough material to create a real story about Greek mythology, about the story of Pandora's box. And what we want is something real, truthful, and verifiable. For that, we're going to go into SkyWork AI. If you don't know SkyWork AI, in my opinion, it's the best AI agent currently available on the market. I've made an entire video where I introduce the whole tool to you, so I'll put the link in the description if you want to check it out. SkyWork, we're going to ask it to give us the entire outline of a script. This is really, really interesting because what SkyWork actually does is pull from tons of sources, searching the web, really digging into every aspect and detail of the story of Pandora's box to give us the most relevant script possible. It's finished working and now it's going to give us several things. It's going to give us the key characters, so here we have them. Pandora, Zeus, and Epimetheus. So here it has given us the 3 characters we want to create. Next, in Magiclight. And most importantly, it has given us the outline of the story. We're simply going to learn the entire plot, which is based on a lot of documentation. And actually the plot, we're going to put it into basic script. We really have the true story. So now we have the option to either generate from the basic script or to reuse this script in Smart Script. And in my opinion, that's the best option. Because actually, we're starting with a base of 6,000 words out of 12,000. We have a lot more details, but we're going to let the artificial intelligence do its work, writing a script in the way Magiclight was designed. Because here, what we've provided in our basic script is context, historical sources, and so on, etc. That's everything it could find on the internet, but it's not really structured in the right way for Magiclight. Be sure to select the correct duration, then press Next. This will generate the entire outline of the story's progression. Next, we get the full synopsis, which is shown here. And most importantly, we have all the scenes with the different shots, so each shot. In fact, it's going to be an image that will then be animated. Here, it gives us the total time with the 121 shots. And then, of course, you can make changes. For example, you can merge them to create a single scene instead of 2 separate ones. You can edit what's inside and so on. You have a lot of flexibility with this. So we can see that everything has been done. It looks pretty good. So we're going to click Next. Next, we have a lot of characters that have been detected by the artificial intelligence. And this is what's going to be very, very important. In fact, all the characters we create will then be recurring. There are several ways to create them, so we can click Edit. We can either select characters that already exist or create new ones, as we saw earlier. So here we've obviously chosen the epic style. And here we have several options. So either we ask the AI to generate a prompt for us to create the image. So for example, this one. So we can create our character from that. So we can generate it, or we can directly add a photo. So let's say we've chosen Zeus in this way. We download it and we can add it and even have both with the reference example and at the same time with the prompt. We click confirm and here afterwards we can generate. This will generate our character, Zeus, whom we'll see throughout our story. We get our Zeus character, which we can apply and will appear all along our story. So we can confirm this one. We've created this character that we could use anywhere. Next, for example, we have Hephaestus. So we're not going to bother creating new characters every time. I'll just select them from what's already offered to us. And what's funny is, as you can see, there are even Game of Thrones characters. So we don't really know why, but you could easily make a story about Game of Thrones by reusing the existing characters already offered by Magiclight. Once you've chosen all your characters, here, I've picked predefined characters that are directly available in Magiclight, as you'll see later in the final result, but don't hesitate to actually create your own characters, for example with SkyWork, to give them a true identity, so they really look like the real characters from real life according to the story of Greek mythology. And for example, if you're making a channel about mythology, it should make sense and be coherent. Then, as you can see, the storyboard will actually generate all the images with our different characters. So what's really, really interesting is that the characters have a truly remarkable consistency. Here, Zeus is exactly the same as in the other images. It's always the same character. Like here, for example, Hephaestus appears several times and it's always the same person. So here I've chosen several characters. For example, you can see there's Aphrodite, there's Athena, there's Pandora, and so on. And actually, you can really see that there's consistency, meaning that this character here, we've seen them before, and they'll be recognizable. And that's what will really make your story good, so that people can get attached and spend time watching your YouTube video instead of always having characters that keep changing. Once the entire storyboard is ready, we can animate, meaning we turn these images into a video. So here you can see that we have several options. We can use Magiclight. Honestly, it's really good. It's actually Magiclight's video AI. It's the cheapest and it gives great results. Then, if you want to go even further, to get even better results, you can obviously use Seedance Pro or Kling. It will cost you more, but you'll get extremely professional results. And for this example, I'm going to use Seedance Pro. So, we animated this image with Seedance, and here's the result. I wanted to show you with Seedance because for the rest of the video, we're going to use Magiclight and you'll see that the result is more or less similar. So I recommend going with Magiclight, which only costs 80 credits per generation instead of 300. In any case, what I find absolutely amazing before even starting the generation is that we have a huge number of images that are coherent with a story and characters that stay the same. And it's all done in just a few minutes. So really, it's super interesting if you want to create this kind of content. Next, you can choose the voice for the voiceover, meaning the person who will be speaking over the video. For this example, we'll stick with William, which is the default option. Then we click on Next and we can animate all. So we select Next and now we're going to choose Magiclight 1.0. This will cost us 9,600 credits for a video that will last 10 minutes, which means in fact you can make 4 videos like this per month. With the $35 subscription, that means less than $10 per video, which is really not expensive at all when you know how much it usually costs to make faceless YouTube videos. So now we just have to wait a few minutes for everything to generate. And then we'll be able to add our subtitles and add background music as a voiceover. Once the generation is finished, we can simply click Next and move on to the final phase. So in the final phase, first, do we want to cover with the title name? Here we're going to indicate that we don't want one. What type of subtitles do you want? So subtitles here, of course, are not mandatory. Maybe you'll find them ugly, etc. You can choose not to add any and instead add them later, for example, on CapCut with automatic subtitling. I'm going to select this option. And then we can choose a background music track. So for example, I'll pick this one, which fits well with this style. And it's applied. Of course, you can listen to them like this to check out all the sounds that are available. Then we click on Generate, which will compile all our scenes and add the voiceover on top. We choose the 16:9 mode in good quality and off we go. And there you have it. We get our final video about Pandora's box. Here we go. Here's a short excerpt.
At the very top of Mount Olympus, Zeus sits on his throne, an aura of divine fury radiating from him. In the heart of the forge, Hephaestus works with unmatched intensity. Each strike of his hammer resounds with divine power. On Earth, Hermes appears, guiding Pandora forward. So,
honestly, it's really clean for something that's fully AI generated. We used the video model, which is a bit less good than the video generation model, like Seedance, especially Seedance Lite, which actually isn't that bad and which you have the option to use in Magiclight. I'll show you one last example when we do the agent mode with Seedance Lite specifically. And then you can simply download your video and upload it to YouTube. What you need to understand is that people on YouTube, when they watch this kind of video, they want a story that's interesting and that they can follow. It doesn't necessarily have to be the most beautiful in the world. But here, this allows us to have a fully illustrated video from start to finish that still lasts 12 minutes. And just imagine, you can go up to 50 minutes in one go, which is pretty crazy. It's the only AI that can do this today. Now we're going to look at the agent-based video mode. So this is super easy to use. Let's take one of the examples, for instance, this one, making a story. For children, about a bear's first day at school with around 120 words. And here, we're going to tell it in French. So here we go. It's actually the agent that will create everything, as you can see. It's the agent that chooses the style and the language. So here, it's French. Because we told it to, it chooses landscape, and now we can just click OK next. Since we're using agent mode, we're going to go a bit further with autocast. That means it's the agent that will directly choose the characters. We click next, and we get the same process with the storyboard. This will save you a lot of time when it comes to everything related to the scenario. We didn't even need to provide a script idea with agent mode. And it's really the agent that will take over for you. That means if you want to create a faceless YouTube channel tomorrow where you tell stories about a bear for children, potentially the AI will be able to create lots of stories for you on its own without you needing to intervene. Here we're going to do a short story. This can also be great for a YouTube channel for kids who don't necessarily have an attention span that lasts 30 minutes. So there's no need to make channels with videos that are too long. And we already have all the images that have been generated. And honestly, it already looks pretty nice. So we're going to use a different voice for a change. For example, we'll choose Laura and then click Next. We're going to animate everything just like we did earlier. For the Mythology, we click Next. We could choose Seed and Slide. It's interesting because it's just a bit more expensive than Magiclight, and I think it's much better in terms of rendering. Once that's done, just like before, we simply click Next, and everything will follow on from there. This time, for example, we're going to add a title for a change. We'll put it like this. We'll add subtitles that are a bit different from earlier. And for the music, we'll choose this one. We'll just add it randomly. And here we go. Let's generate it. So here we'll still use 16 by 9 format. We could have done a short format. We decided to go with a long format in 16 by 9. And just like before, it's going to generate our story with the final video. And here we go. We've got the result. That was pretty quick. Let's go see how it turned out.
Biscott. A little teddy bear was hugging his backpack tightly. It was his first day of school, and his cotton heart was pounding wildly.
So honestly, it's perfect. It gives us a coherent story. Once again, we didn't check what the AI did. We didn't check the script. We let the characters be random. Everything could be better. Everything could be more optimized if we spent a little time preparing beforehand. And then, as the stories go on, we can reuse the same characters. This will give your YouTube channel more consistency. I've talked about it. In this video, SkyWork AI is clearly the best agent available on the market today. So really, I encourage you to check out this video. See you very soon. This was Romain. Ciao.